Hello, traveler, and welcome to the Sleeping Squire. This is your quiet corner of the realms, where tales drift like candlelight, and sleep waits just past the next page. Tonight, let go of your sword, your pack, and your worries. Come closer to the fire and listen. You're safe here. You found your way to the right place. Let me tell you a story of a place outside of time, a place known to only the weary, the brave, and the lost. This is the in-between worlds. You don't remember how the walk began. One moment you were somewhere else, and now you're on a winding trail beneath tall, ancient trees. The sky above is soft and gray, like fog wrapped in twilight. The air smells of damp earth, pine needles, and something faintly sweet, like lavender and honey drifting from somewhere ahead. The wind is gentle. It doesn't push, it guides. You keep walking, not hurried, not lost, just moving forward. Each step feels quieter than the last, as though the forest itself is muffling your presence, welcoming you gently into its stillness. To your left, you pass an old stone marker. It's covered in moss, half buried in the soil. The carvings on its surface are faded, but familiar. You're not sure why. There's no path on any map you know that matches this one. But somehow, you know you're not lost. You're exactly where you're meant to be. You walk a little further, and the trail shifts. The dirt beneath your feet becomes cobblestone, worn smooth by time, edges rounded, gaps filled with soft green moss. The forest opens just slightly, and there, nestled in the mist, you see it, a small inn, old yet well kept. Its roof is sloped and dark with moss. Golden lanterns flicker at the corners. Warm light glows through the windows, spilling out into the fog, like sunlight trapped in a dream. A wooden sign swings slowly on rusted iron chains. It bears no name, only a carved image, a sleeping crescent moon cradled in a knight's helm. You recognize it. You've seen it. Somewhere. Maybe in a dream. Or perhaps in a book you read long ago. The door is closed, but the lantern above it flickers twice. Softly, almost like a wink. You walk up the stone steps. They creak, just a little. Not from age, but from awareness. As if the inn knows someone's coming. Someone expected. Your hand reaches for the door, but before your fingers touch the wood, it opens, slowly, silently, and from within, a breath of warmth rolls out, carrying the scent of old parchment, candle wax, and cinnamon tea. You step inside. The door closes softly behind you. Inside the inn, everything feels warmer, heavier, but not unpleasantly so, like a thick blanket wrapped around your shoulders. The entryway is narrow and cozy. A bench sits to one side, carved from dark wood. A small hook waits patiently for your cloak. A woven mat rests at your feet, embroidered with a single word, welcome. A candle burns low on a nearby shelf. Beside it rests a bell, a guest book, and an old feather quill. The guest book is open, but the last name written is unreadable. The ink has bled, like the letters didn't want to be remembered. You walk forward slowly, taking in the space. The inn is quiet, not empty, just still. To your right, a sitting room glows with gentle firelight. Two armchairs, covered in soft velvet, face a wide stone hearth. A tea tray rests on a wooden table between them. One of the cups is full, still steaming. You glance around. No innkeeper, No other guests, just you, and the sense that someone was just here, and that someone else, someone kind, prepared that tea for you. You take it. The ceramic is warm. The first sip is floral, with hints of cinnamon and something older. It soothes you. You don't even realize you've sat down until you feel the cushion beneath you. The fire crackles softly. The shadows dance gently on the walls, and you begin to notice little details. A painting above the mantel, showing a tower that touches the clouds. A stack of books nearby, titles in languages you've never seen. A curious silver coin resting on the edge of the table, ancient, yet freshly polished. The air is thick with the comfort of memory. Not your memory, but memory nonetheless. This place remembers many stories. It holds them quietly, like a library built from whispers. Eventually you rise. Just beyond the sitting room is a small wooden counter. Behind it hangs a wall of brass hooks, each holding a key. Some are rusted and old. Others are shaped like leaves, stars, or feathers. A few glow faintly, not with electricity, but something older. Only one hook is empty. It's labeled not with a number, but a single word. Yours. Below it, resting in a velvet-lined tray, is a key. You lift it. It's heavier than it looks. Its surface is warm, like it's been waiting for you. There's no room number, but you know it will fit wherever you're meant to sleep tonight. You explore a little more. Each hallway is quiet, but not silent. You hear the sigh of distant wood, the hush of wind brushing against high windows, the low creak of stairs adjusting under invisible weight. You pass doors, each carved with different symbols. A tree, a mountain, a city, a castle. You stop at none of them. Not yet. Instead, you find yourself drawn back to the fire, back to your cup of tea. And the more you sit, the more you remember nothing of where you were before. Not in a frightening way. More like a deep, contented forgetting. Like finally letting go of something you didn't know you were holding. You sit. The fire warms your legs. Your eyes feel heavier. The key rests in your palm, gently glowing. And from somewhere behind the walls, you hear a sound. A page turning. A chair being drawn back. A kettle beginning to boil. Someone else is here, but they're in no rush to greet you. They're waiting until you're ready. You lean back in the armchair, cup resting on your chest. The fire crackles, and the inn exhales. You don't remember standing up, but here you are, no longer by the fire, no longer holding a cup of tea. Only the warmth in your hands remains, and the soft scent of cinnamon in the air. The brass key is still with you, solid, warm, familiar. You turn from the hearth and step slowly into a hallway just beyond the sitting room. It's long and quiet, lined with faded wallpaper, patterned with ivy and small golden stars. The floor beneath your feet is smooth old wood, each plank worn by years of steps. Your steps now join theirs. The inn has changed again. Or perhaps it's always been this way. You pass a small table against the wall. A vase of dried lavender sits atop it. Beside it, a clock. The hands unmoving, but ticking softly anyway. At the end of the hallway, a staircase. Old, but strong. The railing is carved from a pale wood, polished by countless hands. You begin to climb, not rushed, just curious. The kind of curiosity that doesn't ask questions, only walks forward. Each step brings a new scent, the faint trace of old parchment, leather bindings, rain on stone. At the top of the stairs, a landing, dimly lit by a lantern in the wrought iron holder. It flickers once as you step into view, not warning, not alarm, just recognition. The hallway ahead branches two ways. To the left, a corridor lined with wooden doors. To the right, a tall arched doorway, framed by bookcases built into the walls. You walk toward the doorway. As you pass beneath it, the air grows cooler, quieter, and then you're inside it. This space is vast, wider than it should be, taller than the walls outside would suggest. Bookshelves rise toward a ceiling you can't quite see, each packed with books, scrolls, maps, and things that might not be books at all. A spiral staircase winds upward to a second level. A glass chandelier hangs from somewhere above, its light soft, like moonlight reflected off snow. There's a long table in the center of the room, 6 chairs. Only one is pulled out, and on the table, a journal. Its cover is dark blue, worn at the corners. There's no name, only a small silver symbol embossed into the leather. A feather, pierced by a key. You don't mean to sit, but you do. The chair welcomes you. Softly, you rest your key beside the journal. The moment it touches the wood, the journal opens. The pages flutter until they settle. The writing is careful, gentle, inked in sepia brown. It's not your handwriting, but the words are yours. They speak of things you don't remember writing, memories half lost, dreams once dreamt, long walks on quiet roads, the feel of rain on your face, the sound of your name spoken by someone you miss. You run your fingers down the page. The ink is still fresh. You turn another page, and another. The journal writes itself as you remember, or as the inn remembers for you. There's a fireplace at the far end of the library. It wasn't lit when you came in, but now it is. Its glow doesn't flicker wildly. It burns like a slow breath, steady, quiet, ancient. You rise from the table, walk past shelves of books bound in bark, silk, and glass. Some have locks. Some whisper softly as you pass. Not words, just awareness. You pass one book, bound in soft green leather. Its spine reads, "Rooms that were never found again." Another, pale blue linen stitched with gold thread. The names of guests who arrived in dreams. You could spend a lifetime here. Maybe you already have. You run your fingers along a nearby shelf. The books hum beneath your touch. Not a song. Not quite. Just memory. You pause at a smaller door in the far wall, carved into the wood, a symbol of an open eye, gently closing. You open it. Behind the door is a reading nook, just large enough for a window seat, a curtain, and a single candle. You step inside, pull the curtain shut, and curl up on the cushion. The window shows nothing but mist, yet you don't feel lost, only still. You sit for a while, the journal still in your hand, the key warm in your pocket, and the inn breathes around you. Eventually, you return to the library floor. The shelves rise around you like watchful trees. The spiral staircase calls, but not tonight, not yet. You pass the center table again. The journal is closed now. The key is waiting beside it, but it feels a little warmer, like it's listening, like it knows where to take you next. You leave the library, back through the arched doorway, back past the vase of lavender, and down the staircase. The old wood groaning in that familiar way. Not protest, just acknowledgement. The sitting room still waits for you. The fire still glows, but this time, you pass it. There's another hallway now, one that wasn't there before. It leads somewhere deeper, somewhere quieter, somewhere the key has always known. You don't remember falling asleep in the armchair. But when you wake, the fire has burned lower, just soft embers now, pulsing with the slow golden light. The teacup rests empty beside you. The room hasn't changed, but something feels different, lighter, like the inn has exhaled. Again, you sit up, stretch gently, and glance down at your hand. The key is still there, warm, quiet, waiting. And though the inn remains as still as before, you now feel it more clearly, a gentle pull deeper into the halls. You rise. Your steps are soft on the old wood as you move past the glowing sitting room and return to the corridor. It winds gently, like a river flowing through a dream. Each turn, each shadowed alcove feels familiar, though you've never walked it before. You pass rooms again. Some doors have symbols glowing faintly in the dark. A book, a clock, a compass. Others are unmarked, silent, but none of them draw you in. You keep walking until the hallway bends just slightly, and you see a door at the very end. It looks no different than the others, but something about it holds your gaze. There is no number on the door, no carving, no symbol, just a surface of smooth, aged wood, like it's been untouched for centuries. You glance down at the key. It glows softly now, almost eager. You take a breath, step forward, and fit the key into the lock. There is no resistance. The door opens, like it's been waiting. Inside, the air is still, cool, but not cold. You cross the threshold, and the door eases shut behind you. The room is larger than you expected. Its ceiling slopes gently, following the pitch of the roof. At first, the only light comes from a single candle on a table near the wall. But as you step in, lanterns flicker to life, one by one, revealing the space in soft golden layers. There's a bed in the corner, low to the ground, covered in thick blankets and woven quilts of deep indigo and forest green. A small writing desk sits near a window, and through the glass, you see nothing but fog, swirling slowly beyond. There's no noise out there, no stars, no trees, just mist. And yet, you're not uneasy. You step further in. On one wall hangs a mirror, tall, framed in dark wood. But when you look into it, you don't see yourself. Instead, the reflection shows a room much like this one, but different, subtly. The candles are in new places. The bed is turned the other way. There's a journal lying open on the desk, one that isn't here in your room. And as you watch, the image shifts, like a memory playing out. Someone once stayed here. They paced the floor, sipped tea, wrote letters, and then they vanished. The mirror fades, becomes just a mirror again. You turn from it slowly and notice something new. A wardrobe, tall, slightly open. From inside you can hear something, not a sound exactly, more like a hum, a resonance, as though the wood itself holds a tune only the inn can hear. You step closer. Inside, hanging neatly, are cloaks and robes, none of them yours. One is stitched with silver thread, another with constellations that shimmer softly when touched. You let the door swing shut, and the room breathes with you. Everything here seems chosen, not for you, but because of you. Like the inn knew you were coming long before you arrived. You sit at the writing desk. The wood is smooth, worn by time. A piece of parchment lies there now. You don't remember seeing it before, and the ink beside it is fresh. You pick up the quill. It feels familiar in your fingers, not like a tool, but like something returned. You write, not words you think, but ones that come on their own. They form slowly, rhythmically, a sentence, a memory, or maybe a dream. The ink dries as soon as it touches the page, and once you're done, the paper folds itself, slips quietly into a small drawer at the desk's side. You close it, and know it will be there, always, waiting. Your bed calls to you now. You lie down. The mattress is soft. The blankets are cool at first, then warm, like they remember your shape. The candle burns low. You close your eyes, and as sleep begins to return, you feel it, the inn settling around you, its stories whispering through the beams, its quiet magic curling gently beneath the floorboards. And somewhere, someone else is writing too, in another room, at another desk, in a story that hasn't been told yet, not until you're ready to find it. You're not sure when you fell asleep, only that when you open your eyes, the world is warmer. You're still in the velvet armchair by the hearth. The fire is lower now. Soft embers glow behind a blackened log, pulsing gently, like a sleeping heart. Your cup rests on the side table, still warm to the touch. You stretch a little, just enough to feel the shape of the cushion beneath you, the soft ache of rest rediscovered. And then, a bell rings in the distance, not sharp, not hurried. It's the soft chime of silver on silver, and with it comes the scent of something fresh. Bread, toasted oats, honey and melted butter. Breakfast. The inn, it seems, has quietly welcomed the morning. You stand slowly, keeping the key close. You still don't know which room it belongs to, but that doesn't seem to matter. It's yours. You're certain of that. As you step into the hallway again, something is different. The light. It's not from lanterns this time, but from outside. A soft, misted daylight spills in through tall, narrow windows. It's not harsh, not blinding, just enough to make the walls glow with golden warmth. You follow the scent, past the sitting room, past the hooks and keys, toward a corridor that wasn't there before. The floorboards here creak more softly, as though they're used to morning feet. You pass another painting on the wall, this one of a walled garden half lost in fog, with a woman in a long cloak picking herbs beneath a tree. There's writing below it, faded script that reads, "For those who rise gently." You round the corner and find a doorway. No door, just an arch of smooth stone, ivy growing up one side. Beyond it, a dining room, and beyond that, wide glass doors, leading to something that looks like a garden wrapped in mist. But first, breakfast. The dining room is long, with a beamed ceiling and wide, low tables. No two chairs are alike. Some are plush and cushioned, others simple wood. Each seat is arranged like someone chose it for someone they remembered. There are no guests here either, but the table is not empty. A plate waits for you at the far end. It holds fresh bread, golden butter, a small dish of sweet preserves, and a steaming cup of what smells like spiced tea and cream. You sit, and it feels familiar. Not just the food, but the moment itself, as if you've eaten here before, in some forgotten version of a dream. Each bite warms you from the inside. The bread is soft, the butter rich. The preserves taste like orchard fruit and something floral. Lavender, perhaps, or violet. The tea is comforting, slightly sweet, slightly spiced. The kind of flavor you associate not with any one place, but with home, wherever that may be. As you eat, you glance toward the glass doors. The mist presses gently against the panes, silver and pale. You can't see far, just the outline of hedges, a gate, and something stone beyond it all. And yet, the pull is there. You rise, brushing crumbs from your hands, and walk slowly toward the doors. The key still sits quietly in your pocket, warm as ever. You open the door. The garden greets you with a sigh, not of sadness, but of old memory. The mist curls around your ankles, then lifts slightly as you step onto the cobbled path. The hedges are trimmed, but not too neatly, as if they were allowed to grow just enough to remain wild in spirit. You pass herbs growing in neat beds, sage, rosemary, thyme, and something glowing faintly blue. The air smells of earth and green life. It's quiet, but not empty. Somewhere beyond the fog, you hear running water, a fountain, or a small stream. You follow the winding path deeper into the mist, and then a bell, not the breakfast bell. This one is softer, slower, almost like a memory being remembered. You reach the far end of the garden. There's an arch of woven branches, a wooden gate, and beyond it, a circular garden walled in stone. In the center, a single tree, tall, leafless, its branches spread wide like arms, waiting to hold something lost. You step inside the circle. The ground here is different. Soft moss beneath your feet, damp with dew. The tree hums softly, not a sound, but a feeling. And beneath it, a bench. You sit. You're not cold, not hungry, not afraid, just still. And as you sit, a thought comes to you, not from your mind, but from the place itself. You've walked far. You've remembered nothing, and you've rested well. But the inn is not done with you yet. You look at the tree. Something glows at its roots. You kneel, brushing the moss aside. And there, nestled in a hollow beneath the bark, a second key. This one is smaller, shaped like a leaf, and cold to the touch. You don't know what it opens yet, but you take it anyway. And as you rise, the mist shifts. The inn reappears beyond the garden gate, a shadowed shape in the silver veil. You walk back slowly. The doors open before you. The warmth returns. And somewhere upstairs, the door clicks open. But that is a journey for another time. The soft chiming of the breakfast bell fades behind you as you step back into the main corridor of the inn. The warmth of the dining hall still lingers in your chest. The taste of honeyed bread, the scent of morning tea, the gentle hush of soft conversation echoing faintly in your memory. Now the hallway stretches ahead in gentle shadow. You pass by familiar doors. The library, now closed. The stairwell winding upward. Your room still behind you, waiting. Candle still flickering in its lantern. But something calls to you from farther down, past the usual corridors, beyond the known. The walls here feel older. The wallpaper changes, less intricate, more worn. Faint flowered patterns faded by time, like a memory washed by rain. The air cools slightly, not cold, but just quieter. And that's when you notice it. The door. It doesn't match the others. The wood is darker, smoother, almost polished. No scratches, no wear. But it's the writing that gives you pause. There's a name carved into the center of the door, but it's written backward. Not a mirror image, just reversed, as if meant to be read only from the other side. You tilt your head. The letters are familiar, vaguely, like a name you've heard once in a dream. The knob is small, brass, ornate, but unremarkable compared to the rest of the inn. There's no keyhole, no creak from behind. But the closer you stand, the more you feel it. Not danger, not fear, just invitation. Like the door has been waiting, not for anyone, for you. You place your hand on the knob. It's warm, and you hesitate for a breath, just long enough to wonder if this is where your journey shifts. Then, slowly, you turn it. The door opens inward, and what you see is not what you expected. It's not a room, not exactly. It's a passage, stone walls, arched ceiling, lined with mirrors. Dozens of them, maybe more. Some small and oval, others tall as doors themselves. Each one in a different frame. Twisted vines, wrought iron, simple polished wood, carved bone. They don't reflect you. Not immediately. In the nearest mirror, you see a room you've never entered. A high-vaulted chamber filled with floating books. In another, a forest you almost recognize. Moonlight falling through shattered glass leaves. One mirror shows your own face, but older, softer, smiling at something just out of frame. You walk forward. Each step reveals more mirrors. Some cracked, some flickering, some perfectly still. One shows a child standing where you are, wearing the same clothes you are now. Another shows you walking with someone beside you, but their face is blurred, kind, familiar, unnamed. At the very center of the passage is a full-length mirror with a velvet curtain draped over it. The fabric stirs, though there is no wind. You reach out and draw it back. The reflection is you. Just you. Now. But something is different. The eyes in the mirror don't follow your movement exactly. They hesitate, blink slower. Then, only for a moment, they smile before you do. And you feel it. This mirror doesn't show your future or your past. It shows your possibility. What you could become. What you've been. What you're still becoming. And as you stand there, the space behind the mirror slowly begins to shimmer. You blink, and the mirror becomes a doorway. Through it, you see the inn again, but not from where you came. This is a hallway with no number, no map, a part of the inn that exists between. You step through, and behind you, the mirror ripples once, then stills. Now, you're in a narrow hall, lined with velvet drapes and bookshelves carved into the walls. Candles flicker along floating sconces. The flames glow blue instead of gold. A hush hangs in the air, like a library that's never been disturbed. You walk slowly, and at the end of the corridor, another door waits. No handle, no lock, just a name, carved backward, the same as before, except now. You can read it. It's yours. Not the name you go by. Not the name others gave you. But the true one. The one hidden deep in your quietest dreams. And as you reach out, the door opens by itself. Inside is a small chamber. Round. Candlelit. A writing desk. A single chair. A teacup waiting. A book lies open on the desk. Its pages blank. And a pen, old but full of fresh ink, rests beside it. This is not a room for sleeping. It's a room for writing, for remembering, for deciding what comes next. You sit. The chair fits you perfectly. The page waits patiently. And as your hand lifts the pen, you begin. You're not sure how long you slept. Not truly. Time inside the inn doesn't follow the usual rules. It folds, like parchment, bends, like candlelight in a draft. You wake not because of a noise, but because of a feeling, like being watched, not with malice, but with gentle expectation. Your room is still, your blanket still tucked beneath your chin. The candle on your bedside table glows softly, though you don't remember lighting it. You sit up slowly. The inn is quiet, but not empty. The fire has gone low, just embers now, and yet the room is comfortably warm, like someone placed a thick quilt over the whole world. You rise. Your bare feet touch the wooden floor, and the boards beneath you creak, not loudly, but with that same familiar sound, like someone listening. You step toward the hallway. The door doesn't resist as you open it. Outside, the corridor is dim, not dark, but lit only by wall sconces that burn with a soft silver glow. There's no sound, except a gentle ticking, faint, delicate. Somewhere, a clock is keeping time, though it doesn't feel like time is moving forward. You walk. The walls here seem different than they did before. Paintings you don't remember line the halls. Some of them seem to shift when you aren't looking directly at them. Not frighteningly, just enough to make you question if your eyes are fully awake. You pass a window. Beyond the glass is not the forest, but stars. A vast, ink-black sky, filled with more stars than you've ever seen. Some twinkle, some pulse. One seems to be moving slowly toward the horizon, but before you can look too closely, something draws your eyes away. A door, not large, not hidden, not numbered. It's just there, at the end of the hallway. Its wood is darker than the others, old, worn smooth by time and use, but not scratched or damaged, just remembered. There is no handle, just a small indentation, as if the door opens for no one who needs to open it, only for those who are ready. You press your fingers gently against the groove, not forcing, just offering, and like a sigh, the door opens. Inside, it is not a room, not really. It's a library, or a study, or a memory of both. The space stretches beyond what the room could physically contain. Shelves spiral upward endlessly, packed with journals, scrolls, and tomes bound in leather and cloth. Some books glow softly, others pulse like they're breathing. There is no dust. This room is alive. A desk waits near the center, carved from a single tree, twisted and smooth. Its surface gleams with candlelight. Beside it, an ink pot, a feather quill, and an open book, blank, waiting. You don't remember walking to the desk, but suddenly, you are there. Your hand reaches toward the quill, and as your fingers touch it, words begin to bloom on the page. Not from ink, from memory. Lines spill across the parchment, not in your handwriting, but in something that feels like you. You read them. The story is familiar. A winding forest, a stone marker, an inn without a name, a cup of tea that soothed your bones, a key labeled yours. This is your story, but you never wrote it. You glance around the room and realize each book here might be someone's story, each written not with ink, but with experience. You take the chair. It creaks softly beneath you, not from strain, but from acknowledgement. You lift the quill. This time, you write, not quickly, not feverishly, but calmly, as if transcribing something already known. Each word settles gently on the page. Each sentence brings a deeper sense of peace. This isn't a story about what happens next. It's a story about where you are now, who you are now, and the inn listens. You don't know how long you sit there. Maybe minutes, maybe hours. Eventually, you stop writing. Not because the story is done, but because you are. For now, you close the book. Its cover shimmers briefly. You place it gently onto the shelf beside you. It slides in between two other tomes, one titled Before, and the other, When You Return. You smile softly, because something tells you you will return. You leave the room quietly. The door closes behind you. No sound, no finality, just a pause, Before the next page, the hallway is silent once more. You carry nothing with you, and yet feel lighter than you did before. The stars through the window are fading. A blush of lavender creeps along the horizon, and somewhere far below, you hear it. The soft, distant ringing of a bell, not urgent, but inviting, calling you. Toward breakfast, the bell is soft, but it finds you, not with sound alone, but with feeling, a gentle warmth tugging at your center, like the memory of a place you've never been. You follow, not out of obligation, but out of curiosity and hunger, not the sharp kind, but the kind that comes from dreaming too deeply, too long. The hallways shift again as you walk. You recognize the walls, the curve of the beams overhead, the golden sconces that flicker even without flame. But they feel different this morning, lighter, like the inn is exhaling with you. You pass a wide window. There's no glass, just a soft gauze curtain stirred by a breeze. Outside, fog clings to the ground, swirling low like milk and tea. You keep walking, and eventually you reach the end of the corridor, where another door waits. This one is wide and weathered, framed in ivy. You notice pale green leaves pushing through the cracks in the stone. The brass handle is cold, but welcoming. You open it, and you step into the garden. It's larger than the inn should allow. A sprawling courtyard, nestled in mist and green. Everything here feels hushed, not silent, just reverent, as if the garden remembers being a cathedral once, long ago, when light was the only language. There are trees, twisted and kind. Ancient pines and flowering branches arch together overhead, forming a soft canopy of green and silver. The fog clings low to the earth, curling around roots, rising in spirals from the moss-covered stones. A narrow stone path winds between garden beds and fountains. You follow it. To your left, a bench warmed by the morning sun. To your right, a cluster of lavender, bees buzzing gently around it. The air smells clean. Earth, moss, tea leaves, a hint of lemon and something older, like memory left out to steep. At the center of the garden sits a long wooden table, curved and knotted like driftwood shaped by time. No chairs, just cushions on the ground. A teapot rests at its center, steaming gently. Cups arranged in a wide circle around it, each one different. Porcelain, clay, glass, and carved wood. You recognize one of them, the same style as the one from the hearth last night. A cup waits for you. You know which one is yours. You sit. The cushion beneath you molds perfectly to your shape, as though the garden has memorized your weight. You pour the tea. It flows like honey, golden, smooth, with curls of steam that shimmer faintly with the colors of the fog. The first sip is warm and floral, but there's something else, a taste of fruit, a memory of sunlight. You close your eyes, and you begin to hear things, not words, but memories that drift like petals on the wind, a story told in birdsong, a name whispered in rustling leaves, the low hum of moss remembering footsteps from long ago. You breathe deeply, and when you open your eyes again, you're not alone. Other guests have arrived. Not suddenly, not with fanfare, just gently. They sit silently and around the table. Some sip tea. Others read old books, worn and cherished. A few simply watch the fog curl through the trees. None of them speak, but you feel no distance between you. Just shared stillness, shared peace. You glance upward and notice something extraordinary. Above the canopy, past the last curling tendrils of mist, the sky is changing. Colors shift slowly. Blue deepens to rose. lavender fades to gold, and from somewhere behind you, chimes ring again. Once, twice. You look toward the far end of the garden. A gate stands open. It wasn't open before. You rise slowly, leaving the cup behind. It remains warm, waiting, as though it expects you'll return. The others don't stop you. They nod gently, knowingly. Some have passed through before. Some are waiting for their moment. You walk. The grass underfoot is soft. The fog parts as you step, revealing cobblestone beneath. Old, circular, like an ancient sundial or compass. The gate ahead is woven with the vines, but they curl back as you approach. It creaks softly on its hinges. Beyond it, a stone path framed by lanterns. And beyond that, another part of the inn, or perhaps a different world entirely. You step through the gate, the mist folds closed behind you, and your journey continues. The key is gone. You don't remember losing it, but when you reach for your pocket, there's only warmth, not metal, not velvet lining, just the absence of something once familiar. You don't panic, not here. You simply rise from the breakfast table, and the inn, as always, seems to understand. There's no staff in sight, no notes, no signs, but the doors down the hallway shift slightly, and one in particular creaks open, just wide enough to invite a step through. You follow the hallway. Your footsteps are soft against the worn wooden floor, and the candlelight flickers without wind, like it's watching. Then, you find it. Not a room, not a door, a stairwell. It turns sharply to the left and winds downward, its steps carved entirely from mirror. Each one reflects not only your feet, but the ceiling, the walls, the uncertain glow behind you. At the edge of the first step, a brass plaque is embedded in the wood. Descent may change your shape. Proceed only if you remember who you are. You hesitate, and then you begin to walk. Each step hums underfoot, not with music, but with memory. You catch glimpses in the mirrored walls. A time you stood in the forest just before rain. A candlelit library where every book whispered your name. A hand holding yours, you can't recall whose, but it felt like home. The deeper you descend, the more the reflections start to shift. First, slightly out of sync. Your reflection pauses when you don't. It tilts its head a second too late. It blinks when your eyes remain wide open. You keep going. The mirrors crackle faintly as your fingers graze the railing. You feel the wood. You see glass. But your reflection no longer matches. It walks differently. Its posture is unfamiliar. It smiles faintly when you do not. And behind that smile is something else. Not malevolent, not cruel, just old. Like something that's been waiting behind 1,000 reflections, patient and still. You reach a landing. The mirrored stairwell ends, and before you stands a single full-length mirror. No door, no hallway, just this final pane of glass, taller than you and rimmed in blackened silver. It shows your reflection, but the room behind you is wrong. The chair's on the opposite side. The candlesticks burn blue instead of gold, and where your eyes should be, there's mist. The figure in the mirror raises a hand, not yours, thinner, longer, not mocking, but beckoning, and then it writes on the glass with its fingertip, "I remember you." You don't run. Instead, you wait, a moment, then another. The figure lowers its hand. It tilts its head, curious as though listening. Then it steps back. The mist clears from its eyes, and for just one breath, you see yourself again. The real you, not dressed for this inn, not shaped by this dream, but who you were before. just long enough to remember you came here searching for something. Not a bed, not a fire, not a key. You came here for the story, your story. And this reflection, this other self, smiles one last time, then fades. The mirror melts away like smoke on water, and behind it, a narrow hallway stretches forward. You follow it. There's no fear now, only a quiet anticipation. And ahead, faint but growing stronger, you hear the soft sound of pages turning, a pen scratching gently across parchment, and a voice, not spoken aloud, but heard deep in your bones. The final page waits for your hand. You walk slowly. The hallway behind the mirror is longer than it should be. It stretches on, not endlessly, but deliberately, like it knows there's no need to rush this final step. The walls are no longer paneled wood, nor misted stone. They're soft, like layers of paper. Some are blank, others are faintly inked with lines too delicate to read. As you pass, they shift gently, like pages turning in a book you've already read, but forgotten. The light here is dim, but kind. It comes from nowhere, and everywhere. Eventually, the hallway ends. A door stands before you. Unlike the others, carved, numbered, ornate, this one is plain, wooden, smooth. No lock, no symbol, no hook, just a single word, etched faintly above it. End. You rest your hand on the surface. It's warm, not alive, but familiar, like a well-worn book cover, or the frame of a childhood photograph. You open the door. Inside is a room, not grand, not mysterious, but still perfect. Stone walls, weathered smooth with time. A fire crackling in a hearth that's not too large, not too small. A soft bed tucked into the corner, layered in heavy quilts that smell of cedar and lavender. A writing desk beneath a round window. And beyond that window, stars. Not like the sky you know, but deeper, wider. A tapestry of constellations not yet named. You step inside, and the moment you do, the air changes. Not heavier, not lighter, just complete. There's no music here, no strange whispers, no flickering lanterns. Only the quiet rhythm of fire and breath. You are not being watched. You are simply here. And for the first time in what might be forever, you feel like you've arrived. A book rests on the desk, bound in soft leather, its cover unmarked. You open it. The first page is blank. The second, too. But on the third, you find words, not printed, not penned, but growing, like vines curling into shape across the page. You came a long way. You asked nothing, and still, you were welcomed. More words bloom beneath. The story is yours now. Write what you wish. Rest when you're ready. You place the book back on the desk. Your hand lingers on the pages a moment longer. Then you turn and lie down. The bed takes your weight with the patience of centuries. You sink into it, not quickly but gradually, as if being lowered gently into memory. The blankets are heavier than you expect, but comforting, like the arms of someone who waited a long time to hold you again. You close your eyes. Outside, the wind passes softly over the stones. It carries the scent of ink and old trees and forgotten lullabies. Somewhere, far below, a bell rings once, not to wake, just to mark the ending. And across the inn, everything stills. The candles dim, the hearth glows low, the pages stop turning, and the inn, as always, waits for its next guest. And so, your journey through the in-between worlds comes to a close. For now, may your dreams be quiet, your rest deep, and may you wake only when you're truly ready. If you found peace here tonight, know that this inn and your room will always be waiting. This has been a story from the Sleeping Squire, ASMR, where every tale is told in a whisper, and every world is built for sleep. Until next time, rest well, traveler. You're safe here.